everyone, Drizzerey here, and welcome to another time-lapse video. In this episode, we're going to be talking about size. Probably not the size that you're thinking of. I'm talking specifically about the size of your paper. So one thing I don't think is ever talked about quite enough in the art community is an artist comfort, and why we prefer certain things over others. For example, like how you hold your pencil and why a lot of people don't actually keep their arm up and use their entire arm to draw. You know, we tend to develop habits as we, first start drawing, and those habits are part of our comfort. Resting my wrist on the paper, while it may be a bad habit, that is a habit that I have that is part of my own personal comfort. It's really uncomfortable trying to draw with my arm. I'm shaky, I don't have steadiness, I don't have the familiarity that I have with resting my wrist on the paper. Next comfort that I have grown up with, because when I drew, I usually drew on what was readily available, being printer paper. And printer paper is usually 8.5 by 11. They have influenced me to this day. I still prefer the bigger sketchbooks. I like 8.5 by 11 to 9 by 12s. Those are my comfort. Anything bigger, I kind of struggle with, but I can still kind of draw it. It took a little bit of getting used to when I took a drawing class in college because we worked on massive drawing pads. And then when I started changing up sketchbooks and really practicing with different sizes, I went down because I wanted to be able to fit my sketchbook in my bag and take it with me wherever I went. And not many bags could hold an 8.5 by 11 sketchbook. And then of course I got the ELO sketchbook, which is a very comfortable size for me. It's 8 by 8, it's got square pages, and they lay flat. So I can use both pages and do an 8 by 16 if I really want to. So I have comfort in that. And then when we're doing sketches, so I really like how the sketch came out on this, and I originally drew this in my sketchbook, but the angel was a fairy, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to do an angel instead of a fairy, because I kind of like the angel more. So I did the angel, and I really like how the sketch came out. And I did actually lose the footage of the finished coloring piece, and you'll see it pop up when I start over, because the drawing didn't come out how I wanted it to. I love the sketch, but inking it lost a lot of the detail I liked from the sketch, and then coloring it, I was sloppy, and I just made a lot of mistakes, and in trying to, fix those mistakes, I worked it too much. And it just did not come out at all how I wanted it to. So, woe is me. So I redid it, and usually when I draw on this, these are half of a 9 by 12. And I usually do these to test out products, and because the size is, it records really nicely on my phone. And it's really hard for me to do images with multiple characters. I can kind of get away with doing one simple character, full body, or I can do profile pictures of them. And so that's where I decided to, when the previous picture didn't go my way, I went back and I decided to make a new one, and it's just profile. And I was going to try to keep the moon in there, but then I decided, you know what, there's just not enough room for the moon and these two, and I didn't feel like trying to make it work. I was tired by this point, and I was very disheartened. So I did something simple, and I like how it came out. It came out nice, it's super sweet, and it's very pretty, and I did enjoy myself because I had my markers and I got to color, and it was nice. And I'm doing my comfort thing, which is mermaids. So yeah, if you're sick of me drawing mermaids, too bad, that's my comfort drawing. And so I guess why I want to talk about the comfort, the artist comfort, is that I believe most artists tend to lose sight on what they like to do, what they're comfortable with, and trying to be professional. Even when you do it as a hobby, I've noticed that artists try their hardest to be professional at all times. I'm also guilty of this. And when doing that, and you try to please everyone else and not yourself, you see art as work. And when you see art as work, you start treating it as like it's just a job and you don't really want to do it anymore, and you lose sight of why you liked doing this in the first place. And that to me is insanely sad. Again, I'm speaking from personal experience and from what I've seen from other artists through my art career, and it has affected countless artists, and I feel like we need to discuss that, or at least I need people to understand and think about this. What are your comfort things? Size. You know, the size of your paper can be a comfort. The type of sketchbook you have, the size of that sketchbook, that can be a comfort. The tool you like using the most, that can be a comfort. The subject that you draw, that you've drawn 100 times and you could pretty much do it with your eyes closed, that can be a comfort. Give yourself your comfort. Let yourself have your comfort. Let yourself have your happy drawings. Let yourself do art for you. And I know I've said this before in some of my other videos, and I know I've said it plenty online, that you do need to do art for yourself. You can't only do artwork for work. You need to have fun. You need to be able to remember, I love doing this. Here's why I love doing this. Here's why I like doing this. And that was what nearly killed my own art. I almost gave up on art entirely. And I know I'm not the only person who has just put the pencil down, put the art utensil, whatever you use, down, and never pick it up again. And if not for going back to what I loved doing, going back to what is my comfort drawings, what I like to draw, what I like to do, and allowing myself to have that even when I should be doing other things. And that's another thing. It's like I am behind on stuff. I kept putting too much on my plate. I kept trying to add month-long challenges to my pile along with everything else, and I just kept falling more and more behind. I couldn't keep up with everything. And now that I have kind of made things to where I could keep up if I didn't have a massive pile that I need to catch up on, it's still really daunting, and I still am struggling to finish that pile. But I can't just focus on the pile. I gotta let myself have the nice things that I like having, like my merfolk, like my cute little romance, or the cute expressions, as simple as they are. They make me happy. They make me love to draw. They make me motivated to want to continue. And after I've made these, you know, I feel better about myself, and I feel more motivated to tackle my to-do list. Maybe it'll be slower than what I was hoping for. Like, I was hoping to complete the entire to-do list by the end of this month. I don't know if that's happening. I'm still gonna try. And I might have a bunch of other pictures that have nothing to do with my to-do list by the end of the month. But at least I'm sane. At least I've kept my sanity, which, you need that. You may make it go crazy sometimes, but you should be able to, you know, take that breath of fresh air and be like, okay, I've done my fun drawing, I've done something for me, now I can continue with work. Because sometimes you need that minute. Sometimes it's not enough to force yourself to push through all the work and not be able to have something until you've done it. You can't use that as a treat all the time, especially not if it's after a long time and you are just wearing yourself thin. If it's more like, okay, I have this one project I need to complete and it's a small one, I could totally finish it in a couple days, then yeah, use your favorite thing as a treat. It works. But if it's like me and my to-do list and it's like this would take all month, yeah, don't do that. Do not make yourself wait an entire month before you can have something as a treat. You can have merfolk as a treat. You can have your romance as a treat. You can have your favorite thing. Just don't forget about your to-do list if it's that important to you. And we could discuss that another time because we are approaching the end of the video. So thank you all so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please hit that like button. Thank you very much. If you have any questions or comments, please lay them on me. I'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to support me, please check out my Patreon, my Discord, or my Ko-fi. Or if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can check out my social media. Links will all be down in the description below. And if you want to see more, subscribe. I promise you will see more. And I'll catch you in the next video. Later!